Yo, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be playing some twos. We're currently SSL, and man, it feels good to be back. Took a little bit of a break, but yeah, without further ado, let's go into the video. So today I wanted to really talk about mechanics. It's all going to be about mechanics. So what I've noticed a lot of my students doing is they look at decision making before anything else, and then there's a lot of like mechanical mistakes happening that they're kind of overlooking. And what this leads to is a lot of overcomplications and very confusing learning process. So what happens is people get turned around, you know, because they blame like decision making for everything. So basically what happens is look at this situation, for example. Like I could look at this play and say that, oh, I made the decision to shadow defend instead. Maybe I should have early challenged, right, or done something different. But the reality is I got bumped, right? That's mechanically what happened. Like, and next time I should try not to get bumped. How could I do that? Well, you know, I could jump over the bump instead. I could keep my momentum better. There are certain things that would lead to maybe a decision change, like, you know, giving more time or you know, trying to defend it in a different way. But that really starts mechanically. It starts with like doing something physically different, right? And that's what I want to look at. Everything we're going to talk about is going to be through that lens of like, what could I physically do different, right? So if there's a big mistake, like, you know, going for a boost or something when you shouldn't, you know, like, that's fine. Like, you know, don't ignore those, of course, but I'm going to look at everything mechanical, and whenever a big mistake does happen, I'm going to talk about it with the lens of what are the small things that I could do differently physically. Okay, so let's defend this. Teammate should have that. And should have an easy challenge. Teammate's 0, so I have to actually kind of help out a little bit. Nice. I just covered the right side because I knew my teammates covered the left side of the net. Let's see if he misses this. Okay, teammate should have. I'm just gonna let him have. This is for the pass. He gets dunked, like, what can you do? Okay, dodge the bump. Teammate's there. Okay, I probably shouldn't have went there, but I'm gonna look at it mechanically. Like, okay, why was that bad mechanically? Well, I kind of hesitated, right? So that's how you look at that mechanically, because hesitation is a mechanical problem. Like, it's a very, like, because you're very uncomfortable, you're not going very quickly, right? That's what's happening. Okay, I'm gonna leave this boost for my teammate. That's unfortunate. Okay. So I obviously let's talk about mechanics. So I hit the post. Okay. So don't hit the post. Very simple. Now, I could look at that through the decision and like, okay, why did I make that decision? Why did I position there? Well, that's because my teammate was there. I thought he would defend the shot that went right to him, right? That's an overcomplication, okay? You gotta be more independent, okay? My teammate was 0, I shouldn't have been relying on him. You know, I should have just focused on what I needed to do to help out the defense, right? That's position for the pass, opponent's gonna have that, I'm gonna read where it's going. Control touch, trying to get the 50, and this might come all the way back to me. Yep, I got bumped, so I'm gonna go. That's really unfortunate. Okay, mechanically I should shoot better, right? That's it. Okay, that read is a little difficult. Try to do this over him. Opponent's there, defend the shot, teammate's there. Don't get demoed. He might get dunked here. Okay, nice. The opponent gave space. The opponent probably should have applied a little more pressure there. Just gonna hit this above, actually. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. I didn't want my teammate to go for the bump. But okay, mechanics. What could I have done? Maybe shoot on target next time, right? And then, when I do the follow up better. You know, don't just hit it towards my own net, essentially, right? Okay, let's get this dunk. Teammate should have that. Let's get this boost. And we're gonna chill. Teammate might get dunked, so I'm kind of reading where this dunk would go. I'm reading where this hit would go. I have to kind of pre-jump to avoid the demo. It's like I could bump me, right? Okay, team is not having it. Let's go next. One of the things that I really do to help focus on the mechanics is just really read properly. Try to get a very good read on the play. This allows me to be very quick and trust my... That's an unfortunate read. Like, teammate got a crazy touch, it bounced right over him. Unlucky. Not much you could do there, unfortunately. Teammate probably just shouldn't have went, to be honest. And when he did go, I probably should have trusted it a little bit more. Let's get the bump on him. Teammate should have free ball now. Just gonna rotate. And I'm gonna focus on the read and the mechanics. So, when it's gonna have to the left. If he doesn't, the teammate should have a good challenge, like so. Put this around this guy. Good fake from him. Should have an easy challenge. The teammate has the ball. Rotate. Get the beans. Okay, put my teammate at 1v2. That's okay. Now actually though, I mean, I played that pretty well. My teammate had a free ball and he just didn't hit the ball. So that's unfortunate. I wanted to, actually, that's another thing I wanted to talk about mechanically, is people like controlling too much even at this level. As we just saw, like, you know, they're trying to control and then they end up just getting dunked, you know? And then look at this play, for example. Like, I just hit the ball, really. I mean, I control touched the first one, but then I just hit the ball the second time. And people really don't understand, even SSL, how powerful hitting the ball over someone is, you know? It's really effective, guys. Like, controlling on its own isn't that threatening. Controlling is threatening because you set up a threat, you set up a bang, you set up a flick, you set up, you know, an air triple bump, you set up a passing play of some sort, right? Like here, how am I gonna make a threat? Well, I try to pass, right? That's the bang in that situation, right? So every time y'all are controlling, you need to look at what threat are you creating by controlling? Because a lot of people, even in SSL, as we're seeing, a lot of people just control without really any goal in mind, you know? Like, they have certain habits that they've developed in training through, you know, poor training habits. And then, you know, you go in game and you just control to control, and you're not really that threatening. So there, my teammate did a good job. He did a great job. He controlled, and his threat was the bang. His bang was the flick in that case, right? Here, my control is going to be a flip percent. That's the threat, is the flip, right? Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the flip. Oh, he followed that. Okay. Good recovery from that guy. Good fake by that guy, too, in the goal line. And that happens. On defense, defense is hard. Defense is probably the hardest part of this game. It's so much easier to just hit the ball in the net, right? But to predict like what other people are going to do with the ball, and particularly challenging like in the midfield and twos, is one of the harder things in the game. Because if you like never challenge in the midfield, you're like super passive. But if you challenge all the time, you're just taking a chance every time. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm like playing a little too aggressive in the midfield. I need to read a little better, because I'm reading that it's an opportunity. Like here is like I'm a little bit more clear of an opportunity. But if I'm not beating that guy, then I'm essentially trolling. I'm really giving the opponents an open net, right? So you got to be pretty confident. Okay, teammate did a pretty good job there. I really like what he's doing with the control, because he's threatening banks. So that last play, my team initially threatened going high, and then he faked going high, right? That's just awkward. My teammate has 0, so I don't want to make him follow up. Well, I guess he didn't have 0, but it wasn't middle for the pass, so I couldn't just throw a middle. Didn't get as good of a clear as I wanted. Unfortunate. That's just pure mechanics. I got a bad hit, right? That's it, simple as that. You hit it better. Okay, my teammate should have another one here. The opponent could pass. That guy is really far back, so I can push up. And I'm just gonna challenge. Shut the follow-up, good. And he also has a free ball here, so we're just gonna position for the pass. Now he took his time instead of banging. I didn't like that, because it's a 1v2. So honestly, he should just pass to me, because I'm wide open. Okay, pretty simple challenge here. Teammate is 0, so I'm going to be a little cautious here. I'm not going to immediately go for boost. See, if I did, we would have got scored on right there. Look for a little ceiling challenge. Oh, my card did not want to flip over there. Unfortunate. I did a little bit of a cancel, and then I wanted to let go of the cancel and have my card flip over, but it didn't really work out that way. Okay, this might be open if I can get in target. Yes, sir. Now, banging, very OP. Challenges, very scary. Oh, team over for a boost. Okay, this is fine. Fine. We get the boost. Maybe red's going. Red, I can't really beat anyone. No threat there. Don't judge the demo. Dodge the demo. Follow up. Head around. Yeah, he got that. And let's bang up. We're mainly buying time here, but since we're low boost, we don't want to really control on low boost and then just end up getting, you know, dunked and the teammates in a 1v2 and slow recovery. It's a bad 50 by me. And it's mainly a mechanical failure. You know, I didn't get a hold of that 50 very well. That's a good save by that guy, actually. I need to get back as quickly as humanly possible. Just like that. Great challenge from teammate. And let's go for the demo here, because that really kind of seals the deal there. Alright. 50. Where's that going? Whoa, that went, that went really fast. Okay, I should have plenty of time to grab this boost, and try not to get dunked. We're just gonna flick. I mean, maybe I could have spent a little bit more time there and got a more threatening shot. I think that's probably what I should have done. Just created like a better threat mechanically. It shouldn't be that threatening there. Oh, okay, well. It is up to you, misses. Okay, this is not good, so we're gonna get back very quick, and then we're gonna early challenge. Even though my teammate just messed up, I'm not gonna try to adapt to him, right? A lot of people make this mistake. They try to adapt way too much, like way too much. And it just gets to the point where you're just not trusting your teammate to do anything, and you're trying to like coddle them a little bit. You're trying to do everything for them. You're trying to carry in a very unhealthy way that doesn't really promote yourself improving, you know, because you're just constantly trying to compensate for your teammate, and you don't have room to just focus on improvement for yourself. And that's like the most important thing. I cannot hit a shot today. I don't think I've hit a single good shot. I need to, okay, I need to try to get at least a couple, maybe a couple shots. That's what I want. I want a couple shots. Well, I had that open net shot, I guess, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I mean, like another open net there, but that doesn't count. I also wanted to point out that the opponent there tried doing some weird control instead of, you know, just banging. And paid the price, you know. It is a little awkward, so I'm not ready to trust this yet. Okay. Let's just tap this up. And I'm gonna try to shoot. No, it's too much angle. Oh, team over boost. Okay, okay, okay. We're back. We're back. You really should have cut in there. It would have been a free ball, free shot, free pass, or something. Put this over this guy. Get bumped from the guy rotating. Not enough boost. Yeah, Tracy's getting bumped and then help out. Mechanically messed up though. And yeah, like this game, it's almost simply like who played better. Like a lot of it is mechanics, you know. Like, oh, like I missed the challenge. I messed up my solo play. I failed recovery or whatever it is, right? Or on the opponent's side, he got dunked, right? Like that's what happened. Now, yeah, he probably shouldn't have went. That's true. But if he's not gonna get dunked, then he should go. And that's something you need to kind of read. It's very difficult when you look at the game through almost this tunnel vision lens of decision making. I probably shouldn't have went there. I thought I was beating him, but yeah, teammates hit just wasn't good enough. I misread it. I thought he got a better hit. Oh, speaking of which, this is trouble. defending solo plays is the hardest part of this game, probably. Like, it looks way easier than it is, or maybe it doesn't look easy, because I mean, there's just so many threats, and it almost doesn't matter how good you are on defense. If the opponent has a really good opportunity, they're probably gonna score. Like, let's be honest. This is why 1v1s are so high scoring. Now, if you have two people on defense, it's way different. So what happened in the last play? Well, first, I 50'd the first guy. Or I 50'd the second guy, actually. But I just hit it past the first guy. I just hit it over him. Then I 50'd the second guy. That's it. But it starts with just hitting it past someone. Right? As long as you don't give it straight to the second guy, hitting it past someone is just really good. Very underrated. My teammate's gonna get that boost. Let's defend this hit. Might just beat him. Kind of, and then open. Oh, he's gonna mess up. I guess he's 0. Mechanically, what I could have done there, I could have hit it lower. Because my teammate, I knew my teammate was gonna be low, so I shouldn't have gave him such a difficult shot by hitting it, you know, up. Ooh, I was hoping he missed that. I thought he was a little awkward, could have missed. Let's bump this guy. Good jump from him. They both gonna have that. I think that's me. And mechanics, if I shoot that on goal, you know, it's a goal. I don't know. It's so like crazy. Like when you just look at everything through this very simple lens of like, what can I do better? And you start seeing all of these like really obvious things to work on. You know, in this case, it's just in that case it was shooting, but a lot of these are just the touches aren't quite going where I want, especially like challenges, like defensive challenges. Like I'm not getting up to the ball the way I need to, you know. There's only so much you can do with like positioning. Like if someone has a really good 1v1 solo play, there's not, hold on, I cook. Oh, I didn't cook. Okay. Ooh, okay, good challenge from that guy. Up at mid. Okay, he needed to do way more with that. GG. Alright. Ooh, where's that going? That's going up. Yeah, I thought that guy was bumping me. Had to get a quick hit there. On the shot. Challenge. We gotta bump that guy, but he went forward. I mean, it's kind of there, so I can't push up. Get over this guy. I'm actually gonna fake this, get the boost, and then go for demo. Yeah, I should give my teammate a little space to work with. Nice, good job. Very problem. What did I just say? A very common problem. I think I just said problem, like whatever. A very common problem is people like overcommitting for demo attempts. Like so often do I see people just full all in every single time, and then you know they're really putting complete faith in their teammate. And how often do you want to do that? Maybe not never. Like you want to do it whenever you really need a goal and you have a great opportunity. But most of the time, just going for the demo without fully committing, you're gonna do a lot of, you know, damage to their defense. You're gonna interrupt them a lot. So you don't need to all in every time. Now, if the opponents don't take any, you know, evasive maneuvers, and they just kind of let you bump them, then yeah, okay, follow through and get the bump, right? This might be an open shot. Is it good enough? Yes, okay. Yeah, banging OP. I just got a good challenge on the first guy. I read properly where he was going to hit it, got the challenge, right it was open, and executed on the shot. Whoa, teammate cooked. Okay, let's look at the Spanish. We've been getting Spanish today. There it is. Still got me. Spanishing is, it's hard. Hard to avoid. Okay, teammates get the clear, but it goes to the opponent. Got a reaver that's going. That's kind of coming straight down. I thought it was going out. What's been happening a lot recently is when people hitting up to the curve, it like bounces out. So I tried to read that time that I was bouncing out, but it just went straight down. Okay, I'm very low boost. Okay, he challenged. Okay, I thought that was my teammate for a second, because he jumped like right next to where my teammate would have been. Just get out the way here. It's a little awkward, so I'm kind of ready for this to go poorly, and then when it doesn't go poorly, I push up. And I could follow up and take a low 50 here. Nice. And yeah, like, I'm gonna say this again. I think high level, like getting around to SSL is almost 90% mechanics. Like, this may be an extreme number for some people, but I really do. And I've always thought this, but what I've kind of been saying in my videos sometimes when I'm talking about like mechanics, you know, there's a couple things. Well, first, I'm talking about how you don't need fancy mechanics, okay? You don't need to freestyle, okay? You don't need a double flipper set. You know, I'm practicing double flipper setting. It's very fun, but you don't need to do that to get SSL, right? Like, how many double flipper sets do we see, you know, in these games, right? Maybe like one, right? You come across a freestyle, maybe a bit more. Holy lag. That was insane. Yeah, let's get out the way here. Team might get dunked because he's awkward. Another thing about mechanics is like reading other people's mechanics. Like, what can they do, right? That's why, like, I consider reading kind of a mechanic, right? Their mechanics, especially for defense. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about with, oh, I thought this bouncing down. Man, mechanics, they're so important. Now, what I've always said is, if you have fundamental mechanics down, this game is very much decision making, right? If your mechanics are solid, you have good fundamentals, right? But that implies a lot of things. I don't think people understand quite how much I imply with that. Because I mean, that one sentence, you know, like, if you have fundamental mechanics, that implies like so much stuff. But if you have that, then the difference maker can be decision making, right? Strategy, positioning. Two people of like equal mechanics, the decision making, you know, will probably make the ultimate difference, right? But people don't have that similar mechanics until much higher level. You know, until you're like super high level, like SSL and above, you just want to get better mechanically. And only really worry about, you know, your decision making when it's like obviously throwing your games. A lot of people look for it for every mistake and every reason they lose. But really, the reason you lose probably isn't one or two decision-making mistakes. It's probably because there was 10 areas in the game where you messed up severely mechanically. But, you know, sometimes people's pride get in the way of accepting where they are mechanically. And they want to look for these short-term improvements to kind of cover up those mistakes. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to get coached by me, then check out my Metafy link in the description below. Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.